Welcome, everybody, to this episode of BallerzWorld Live, the best entertainment in basketball. This is your host, James Ship Like a Boat. I'm here, of course, with Alexis Williams.
Hey.
And Rod Watson.
What
Go
up,
ahead,
what up,
Rod.
what up?
Let everybody know what they have in store today, brother.
Yeah, we got a great lineup today. We got Adam Quintier, professional trainer, professional basketball trainer as well. We got Megan Thomas, comedian, also affiliated with Russell Simmons, right?
Yep,
Simmons
that's correct.
Yeah.
And we got Mike Conley, all-star, veteran.
Woo,
It's funny to call him a veteran. He's been in the league now almost 8-9 years.
Crazy.
And we'll talk to him today, talk about some of these crazy contracts that's going on out here in the
Boy.
NBA. So that's going to be our lineup. Plus, we got the beautiful Alexis Williams about to jumpstart our slam or not for the day. So let's get with it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So for those who don't know what slam or not is, basically I'm going to read some statements to James and Rod. They're going to tell me if they agree. They're going to slam it. If not, they're going to let us know why. And after slam or not, we got 2 new segments I want to try with you guys.
Okay.
Two new ones?
2 new ones.
All right.
Let's do it.
So let's get through slam or not. All right, first one. James Harden's $228 million extension. $228.
James, you go.
Listen, look, okay, man, $228 million. It's 4 years, right? You're talking about like a $57 million a year contract.
Yep.
That's like just under $5 million a month.
But really,
That's
that's like
insane.
that's half after Uncle Sam gets
I don't
his.
care if it's half, if it's 3/4.
I think I saw a
if
graphic.
it's 40 acres and a mule. I don't care. I'm a not that because, and I'm a not it because, not on his behalf. First of all, I'm not a hater. Congratulations,
You
James
sounding
Harden.
like one.
No,
right
congratulations, James Harden. Get your money, Playboy. Get your money. But $228 million for a guy that doesn't play defense?
Now let me ask you this question: if you was James, what would you be saying?
If I was
Cut
James
the
Harden,
check.
I would be saying,
Cut the check.
take me to the bank.
Yeah. Which leads me to my argument. My argument is, look, I see where you're coming from. You know, initially when you look at it from a perspective of as a true basketball head and me being a GM and saying, hey, the city of Houston, H-Town, shout out, H-Town product, they need a Harden. You need to have James Harden. If James Harden bolts and leaves that city, Houston's pretty much dead in the water. You look at the picks that they've had, haven't been all that great in the last few years. A lot of their moves have been made, free agency
They
and
got
off-season
CP3
and
now,
trades. That was again, seat filler.
Seat
filler.
He's a feet sealer.
He's a seat filler. And at the end of the day, Harden, he's put in work. Look at the numbers he put up this past season. He's averaging almost a triple-double, coming off one of his best career stats, both shooting, assists, rebounds. I mean, let's just face it.
$5 million a month.
We know in the NBA, all you got to do is be a one and done during the playoffs.
Mystery,
Austin,
what do you
Crozier,
think? What do you
know
think
what I'm
about
saying?
that?
Like, it don't take
$228
a
million,
lot.
man.
I don't like it.
Y'all haters
Hey,
on the
look,
building.
no, this is my
Like
thing.
you said, on behalf of him,
Hey, can we?
it's
we
cool. But Steph Curry, 201.
201, and
The
that was
same.
in
And that boy's been a two-time. He's
Two-time?
been a two-time champion, 2-time MVP.
Haters are in the building.
Come on.
two
Haters
All right, I
in
think
the
it's time to
building.
move on.
He's
Move
a
on,
liability
move
on defense.
All
Okay,
right,
I'm
all
gonna leave it
right.
there. I'm gonna leave it there.
So the NBA Summer League is going on in Vegas right now. So Lonzo Ball sat out
Oh,
against
my
what
God.
would have been a rematch with De'Aaron Fox, who
All right, here
dropped
y'all go,
40
here
points
y'all
on him
go.
earlier.
You
With
take
a-
this one.
What would be a groin injury?
So is it slam or not? Meaning we slam.
I think it's a groin injury because there's something missing between them legs in that groin area. Is what it sounds like.
Hey, take it easy on the young fella. Take it easy. Look, I say it's a slam that they set him out. Listen, this is basically your first round draft pick. You saw what happened previous game with
Markelle Fultz?
No, not
When he went out?
Markelle. The Rockets guy not the Rockets. I'm talking Rockets. Lakers. The guy they brought back that was from last year. I'm trying to remember his name.
with
slipping my mind right now. But he was their lottery pick last year, number 4.
Yeah.
It'll come to me here in a second.
I know exactly what you're talking
But
about.
anyways, he strained his calf, or he had a cramp, and Magic Johnson shut it down. You're in a situation where you've got your star player. You don't want to risk it. If he's got a strain growing, he's going to have 3 games coming up this season to face De'Aaron Fox. So that opportunity, plus that'll be in a better setting. I mean,
Pause.
at the end
His
of the
groin
day,
looked fine the game before. Pause.
but he tweaked it. They said he tweaked it the game before.
That's what they said. Don't
Yeah.
mean it's the truth.
Oh man.
Well, at the end of the,
Tweaking.
but at the end
And
of the
you know,
day,
the
at
Ball
end of-
family. The Ball family is a family of BallerzWorld. But Man, I don't want to see that matchup. I'm
We're
not
gonna
gonna
get to see the
I
matchup
think
during
James
the
is
season. We're gonna get to see that matchup 3 times. maybe
It
possibly
seems like he's
more.
hiding. It seems like he's hiding.
I mean, even the little fans, they said that. The kids came out and said he was ducking him. He's ducking him like like Floyd was ducking Manny Pacquiao, right?
I think James said Lonzo Ball's missing the ball part.
Oh.
Understanding.
All right, next one.
Damn. Just Alonzo.
So Steven Jackson says that the big 3 players could beat an NBA team.
Slam. Slam.
What?
Now, it depends on which players are playing on that team.
Slam sounds like the sound that
It-
Steve
it-
Jackson's
now,
head
I-
made on the
if
ground
you take
when he
it-
hit his head, because it must be a hell no. A hell not. If it's a hell not, it's a hell not. Go ahead. Well, tell me why.
I believe that depends on which players are on that team. There is, given, looking at today's NBA talent, you're playing against guys that are more efficient. I mean, Chauncey Billups, those guys are making 4-point shots. It's not like they can't make shots. They're making shots.
They make shots.
Now, granted, this is a half-court setting. Now, you have to see that in the full court. But I think Steven and those guys, Chauncey, Steve, AI, there are certain guys that are playing in the big 3 that can
They're
Deshaun,
tripping.
Steve, that can give any other, low-level NBA team a run for their money,
I
for
don't
sure.
know.
All right, last time or not before our new segment. Jamal Crawford to Minnesota.
I say that's a slam.
That's
It
a
sounds
slam.
like they
That's
trying to
slam
put
all the way
together a
around.
little power team out
We'll
there.
agree
out
on that
west.
one.
Yeah.
That's a
I
slam
think
on
they
both
trying to
ends.
put
Yeah.
together a little power team out west with the offseason trades. Carl Townsend's still there. You bring in some good pieces. I think that this team's going to be one that could be a 7th, 8th seed playoff team in the next
They're
year.
going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
no
think- I
doubt.
think they're gonna
7,
make
8.
the
I'm
playoffs.
going to
Yeah.
give them 7, 8 unless they prove me wrong and come higher than that.
Right.
Now that the Clippers are out of the picture, they might even be able to be a 6th or 5th seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see.
All right, so we're going to play a new game, guys, called Start, Bench, or Cut. So
Start
name-
bench cut.
Start, Bench, Cut.
Start bench cut.
I'm going to name 3 guys. All right, ready? Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, and De'Aaron Fox.
Start.
Who do you
bench,
start? Who do you
cut.
bench? Who do you cut?
All right. I'm starting Markelle Fultz.
Okay.
I'm benching De'Aaron Fox. And I'm cutting Lonzo. And look, I'm sorry, LeVar, but I'm cutting Lonzo.
Now, who we got to cut? Who we got to cut? Either we got to cut.
Start bench cut.
Start bench cut.
Either Markelle, Lonzo, or De'Aaron.
I'm starting Markelle.
I'd have to say I'd start Markelle and Lonzo personally. Those would be my 2 guys. You got a proven point guard.
You starting
You
them
are
both.
so.
He's
well,
benching and
He's
cutting.
defending
well,
Lonzo.
I'm going. I would say bench De'Aaron right now because I know point guard
But
wise,
who you
different
cutting out
tempo.
of 3? Now you got to cut
No,
one.
we got to cut somebody.
Start bench cut.
Ooh, if I was gonna cut right now, I'd have to say Markelle because he got a hurt ankle. He can't
Bench and cut.
Lonzo's
He
got a hurt groin. Why
he
don't we
got
cut
benched and
him?
then cut.
play. We got to cut it.
He got beat out by the guy with an injury.
We got a couple of more minutes to go. So what we got next?
All right, now we're going to do One's Gotta Go.
All right,
All right,
one's
ready?
got to go. Who is it?
Anthony.
One's got to go.
One's Gotta Go.
One's
That-
got
One's Gotta Go. You better have a good reason for why he's got to go.
All right, who we got?
Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Kawhi Leonard.
Oh.
That's easy. Kawhi Leonard got to go.
Oh!
That's
He's
easy.
tripping.
Kawhi Leonard got to go.
Do you have a drink?
No, I'm
Are
staying
you-
serious. Kawhi Leonard got to go.
He answered.
Anthony-
I don't
Rename-
even
rename
think he
the-
sat and thought about
You
it.
said Anthony Davis. Who else? You said
LeBron
LeBron
James.
James,
Kawhi Leonard,
Kawhi Leonard,
and KD.
and KD.
Anthony
you
Davis
serious?
got to go.
Are you crazy?
Anthony Davis has
There's
got
no
to
way.
go.
There's no way AD has to go
AD
over
gotta
Kawhi
go.
Leonard.
He's got to go just like the middle of
On
his
what
eyebrows
principle?
got to go. All that got to go. He's got to go.
You ain't saying nothing about basketball.
Kawhi Leonard is a monster.
How many times?
He was
did-
the
how
third.
many- how
He was
many-
the third. Him and LeBron were the third picks for the MVP.
How many times my man in New Orleans scored 50 points this last
He
season?
in New Orleans. How many times did he go to the playoffs and do something?
He been twice since he been there.
Yeah,
He been
He's
twice.
in there and done something. Don't
Well, I
forget that
gave
and
you
done
my
something.
opinion. I say, for me,
Oh.
I cut Kawhi.
What about DJ Mystery? Who do
Anthony
you cut?
Davis all day.
Who you got to cut?
Yeah, I'm cutting Davis.
Why?
Thank you.
Well, he hasn't. I mean, he's played well, but I mean, these
Y'all
other guys
crazy. You
named
cannot replace a
are
power
beasts.
forward with those
He's the
types of
fourth
skills.
best. He's the
7
fourth
footer
best player
knocking
right there.
down long range shots,
Kawhi
getting a
Leonard.
double every night.
Kawhi Leonard is the second best two-way player in the NBA and one of the best in the conversation.
Okay,
for the
one
best
on
all
one,
time.
who wins that game?
He don't have to guard one-on-one because he's got a team and he knows how to play as a team. And
We're
yeah,
basing this based upon individuals. So
You talking
one
about
on one.
defensive player of
we're
the
talking
year?
about play. We're talking about the defense player
Man,
of the year.
please.
He's cutting the. He
You
said
talking
one
about
gotta go.
one-on-one?
Please, please.
He gonna strip that boy. That boy ain't
Boy,
gonna
he
get the
ripping-
key.
he-
I don't know
Ball
what
ain't
y'all
going
y'all
down.
must be talking about 2K basketball.
Kawhi.
We ain't talking about real life. Anthony
Oh,
Davis would
man.
give him buckets. Period. All day.
Oh,
All day.
Kawhi coming to him with the tweezers, man. He gonna get him.
Here you go. Here you go. Well, I gave you my pick. So who'd you take?
I said Anthony Davis got the G.
So you asking Anthony Davis. Okay. All right. Was that ended?
That's it.
All right. Well, that ends
I like
it.
that, though. I like that. I like that segment. Let's keep
Before
doing
we
that.
head out and DJ Mystery takes us out on the ones and twos, any shout outs we got to give, James? Who we got?
Yeah, let's shout out ESPN real quick, and let's also shout out Anta. Go ahead and visit AntaAmerica.com. Use the promo code ESPN2 to get 30% off.
30%.
30?
They're giving them away. That's like, what kind of discount is that?
That's
30%.
a deal.
And then, of course, shout out as always to DJ Mystery.
Take us out on the ones and twos.
Welcome back to BallerzWorld Live. What's up, everybody? This is your host, James Ship. Before we get started, one more shout out to Anta. Go ahead and visit AntaAmerica.com so you can get 30% off by using the promo code ESPN2. Woo! 30%. And of course, as always, shout out to ESPN. Now, in the studio today, we have a very special guest.
Who? Who? Where?
Who do we have?
Where's she at?
We have Miss
I'm right
Ma-
here.
Meg Scoop. How are
What's
you
up?
doing? Megan
I
Taylor.
am
how are you?
great. I'm excited to be here. Y'all got these shoes. I'm just wondering if anybody wore these.
Not
They
They
did
not
fresh
yet.
out
they
the box.
fresh.
Okay,
really
okay.
just
They
smelled
still
them.
got
He
the
really
pep-
was
like,
They got the
yo.
paper in them still. You
Okay,
fresh
good?
out the
okay. I'm
box.
just saying because I was like, wait, because I might steal them. But yes, thank you guys for having me.
No,
I'm
of
excited
course.
to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks
for
for
being
being
here.
here.
Yes.
My first question I always got to ask comedians. Do you just like wake up one morning and you're like, I'm funny? Like, how do you get involved? How do you
You can't validate yourself. It's other people that have to say you're funny. But I'm still waiting for someone to say that to me. So I don't know if I would call myself a comedian, but I do a lot of funny content. I work for Out of Digital, and which is a Russell Simmons company. We do a lot of comedic content, and I think just growing up with a lot of men. So my brother, his friends, my dad, my mom, like mostly men. I think I learned like the art of like roasting and like joking and talking about people. So for the most part, it's, I think that's where the comedy side comes from. Is just growing up around a lot of men.
And I just got a quick shout out to your eyebrows. They look great.
Thank you,
They
girl.
look
The
You
eyebrows
so
on
right.
fleek.
I
Shout
was
out,
like, okay.
shout out the eyebrows, everybody.
I was like, her eyebrows look damn good.
YouTube University, girl. It'll teach you a whole lot.
Eyebrows.
Now, you mentioned you're on All Deaf Digital,
Yes,
correct? And
yes.
you produce shows on there.
I do. I am on-air personality for them. I produce for them, write, direct, a whole bunch of stuff. So I think right now, if you want to check it out, check it out.
Yeah,
I've got a series on there called Kanisha versus John Cena. It's a hilarious challenge show between two female comedians. And let me just tell you, some of these challenges, like you're gonna want to watch them. One is like the Brazilian challenge, the Brazilian wax challenge. Another one is the phone sex operator. One is titty sweat challenge. Cause
Tennis sweat
they're
challenge.
big girls. They got some
Tennis
moves on
sweat.
them,
It took me a second. I was like,
Said
she
titty
said tennis sweat. I was like,
sweat challenge.
did she say tennis
Wow.
sweat?
You gotta
Yeah, the
watch
titty
it.
sweat.
You gotta watch it to see what it's about.
You know what? I will tune in for the titty sweat
Absolutely.
challenge. I
Kanisha
have no
versus John
problem.
Cena every Wednesday. I produce that. But then I also do a daily show called The Drop, which is all about like hip hop. I guess current events for the day. So what's happening in hip hop?
Okay.
Yes.
Now I have a question. How did you get your name? Meg Scoop.
It's very funny
Meg
because,
Scoop.
well, first of all, I like ice cream, so a scoop of ice cream is what I say.
Okay.
But I got it because because I have the scoop. I guess because I'm nosy. I would always, and
Okay.
I'm
I
a
feel
researcher.
that.
You know what I'm saying? I can find out anything on.
You a snitch.
There you go. There you go. Don't tell me stuff. Okay, don't tell me anything illegal. I will tell the police. I can't go to jail.
Right.
Okay. No, but I have the scoop. I'm just nosy and a researcher by nature, so I would always know a little bit. If you ask me on any given day about politics or sports or entertainment or whatever, I can give you something, okay? So I just have the scoop, so that's how I got it. I got
dope.
the scoop.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good reason for a name.
So how was the BET Awards? We saw that you got a chance to cover that last
What?
week,
You
right?
saw that I was on there?
Yeah. How was the red carpet and what was the experience like?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. BET got some money. Somebody gave him a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
Because they had an air conditioned red carpet, which they've never had. I've been out there. This is I think my
Yeah, it
third
was hot last week. It's
man
smoking.
third or fourth year being there, and every single year there's literally no air conditioning. We are out in the blazing sun, melting.
Yeah.
And I think they just got tired of hearing all the celebrities like, my makeup is coming off my
Right.
face. I paid good money for this. Y'all got me looking crazy. So they finally got air conditioned for the red carpet. amazing. And the show itself, there was just an energy in there that just I haven't seen before. So I don't know what's happening, but BT, keep it up.
Yes.
That's awesome. So how did you get your start? How did you get in with All Def Digital, and how did you become Meg Scoop?
I don't know if we have enough time
I
for
mean,
that. You know what I'm saying?
give us the abridged version.
Okay, so well, basically, I've been hosting on-air personality. I've been doing a lot of like producing stuff. All of this probably for the better part of, I would say, 10 years. So this is definitely a journey in the making. The whole, the 10,000 hours to become an expert is so real. You got to put in work. But I started off in radio in Atlanta. Shout out to V103. They put me on as an intern, and then from there it just grew from that to the Michael Bazin show, which is like at the time it was like an urban adults kind of like a show, national show. I produced that for 4 years, and then I moved to LA, and then just took that, and that helped me be on air. Because, being behind the scenes, you learn a lot of stuff. I learned all this stuff back here. I had to learn all of it, but it made me better on air. Yeah. And then I got here, and I just kept grinding. I think it took about like 4 years of literally working for free for everybody.
Yeah.
All right. You might have seen me at a restaurant working as well,
Yeah.
because I was doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting you bring that up, because so often people, no matter what you're doing, whether it's you're pursuing your dreams or
Right.
you're working in your career, people are like, oh, I've been at this 3 months, 6 months. You know what I mean? I ain't making no money, or this is hard. It's
Right,
when
right.
you're pursuing your dreams, you got to be in it at all costs. And I think that the
Exactly.
fact that you stated that for 4 years, you didn't make no money.
I didn't.
You
I
didn't make no money.
Man, I was so
but
broke.
yet you're still sitting here in front of us today.
You right.
So how did you overcome that?
Coupons. You know what I'm saying? A whole
Shout
lot of
out to the coupons, the
I
savings.
feel that.
But no, real talk. I had this conversation a lot with young entrepreneurs or people. So when they ask me like, well, how'd you do what you're doing? Because I
Right.
run up my own business. James, same here, and it's like you have to be able to overcome
I
those
don't.
adversities and those challenges. You soon will be too, hopefully.
Right. Right.
And when you get hit with a roadblock, you can't just like lay down and be like, oh well, I got to go find something else. I guess God don't want this for me. No,
Right,
He's
right.
challenging you so you can get up off your behind and go to the next step and get to the next level.
Right,
So
right.
it's amazing to hear you share that.
I always say that because everybody's got a different gift. Everybody's got a different passion for what
Yeah.
they want to do. But there's a reason for that, okay? If it's in your heart, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of how much blood, sweat, and tears do you want to put into it. Because, obviously it's just if you just keep on going, it will happen.
Yeah.
And I think people just get
They
tired.
give up too soon.
They give up too soon. Like
give
even
up
the
too
whole,
soon.
I'm on YouTube, and I will tell you the YouTube game is very simple. There's a lot of people who have a lot of followers for no reason except the fact they are consistent.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
consistent.
that's true.
That's it.
That's
you
it.
just put it down. I mean, you don't have to put out the best content. And I've seen it.
Right.
My daughters are on YouTube a lot, and they look at all these like little. Now they're into making the slime.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Oh,
go
yeah,
look at
yeah.
the videos. I mean, the number of hits these slime videos getting. It's like little kids on here looking at slime
Right.
videos, and they're in the millions. So it's about just being consistent and putting that content out.
Right. And you can suck, okay? There's
Yeah.
a lot of people who suck. Let's be honest.
Just be working on getting better, something like that.
Exactly. You just got to do better. And I think that's the one thing that I keep, even because it's been challenging for me too. There's been times where I've wanted to give up, where I was just like, let me pack my stuff and go back to Kentucky where I'm from.
Yeah.
Shout out to Radcliffe. But I realize you just have to keep going. You'll get through the hump and the hurdle.
Well,
Just keep going.
a part of your journey, I'm reading here, is you spent some time overseas in South Korea and Thailand. Now, most cases, when you think of comedians, you think local.
Yeah.
Just here in the U.S. What was that about? What took you over, across
Well,
the
no,
pond?
that's the early part of my life. I am
Okay.
a citizen of the world.
Okay.
Okay, I was born in Korea.
I love that.
I need stamps on my
Right.
passport.
Citizen of
I
the
got
damn
stamps on my passport.
Right.
Don't put me in a box.
I was born in Korea, and I actually spent
wow.
the earlier part of my life in Thailand is when my father was in the military.
So Black Korean.
Yes,
So
Black
what was that
Korean.
experience like?
I'm telling you, it's a whole lot of kimchi and collard greens at the same time. I am not mad at it. It's
Hey,
the
my
best.
wife just had a chicken kimchi sandwich down the street.
Ooh,
It wasn't too bad.
Why you
Farm
didn't bring
boy.
one in then?
Hey, she ate it all.
Oh,
Boy,
dang.
that place bomb.
No, it's a very. I mean, it's very unique, and I think it's helped me have a different view on life because I'm not Black, but I'm not Korean either, and it's
Yeah.
I live one foot in both worlds. So I think it just gives me a cool perspective, like
Yeah.
Asian people, and I can read and write Korean, and understand.
speak
it.
it?
Okay, that's
My
dope.
speaking's a
Can
little.
we get a little Korean on the
let's
mic?
give it a little
You know,
something.
Can we get a little something on the mic?
안녕하세요.
Oh.
Chamaneo. Like I know a couple. I can understand, but I always speak it back in English for some reason. I blame my mother. She did this to me because she didn't make me speak Korean back. So now I can read it and I can write it. And even though my reading and writing is like that of a first grader, I can still read it. So I be rolling through Koreatown like,
I know I'm going kind of.
Exactly. Yeah, just a little bit.
What's the motivation behind all of this at the end of the day? What drives you?
Well, I'm a very spiritual person, so I do believe that everybody's given a gift, and you're given a gift because that is what you're supposed to live your life doing. So that no matter, the question becomes a lot of times, okay, this is my gift, but I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how I'm supposed to live it out. As long as you continue to follow that gift, don't worry about the path. It'll make itself. And so for me, the motivation is just to continue to live out my gift to the fullest and just to represent, everything that is good, kind, wonderful, peaceful, and happy, and funny, because, life is just a little better when you have laughs. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of want to be like your best friend.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh, great.
I'm here just like,
yo, can we be best friends? I love you too. We can be friends. Yes, let's go shopping after
That's
this.
amazing.
I'm down. That's down.
Yeah, but I think that's it. A lot of times, when people go through this stuff, it's so rough. And I feel like everybody in here probably has had a gift and has had some kind of rough time where you're like, I want to do this, but I don't know how to get there and I don't know how to do it. Honestly, just sit back, take a breath, and go, this is where I'm supposed to be. You can't compare to the people around you.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's your journey. It's your own personal
It
journey.
is, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
I tell people, just run your race. When you're sprinting, stop looking in over other folks' lane. That's the whole point.
You gotta
Just
stay in your lane.
No,
Stay in your lane.
Don't worry about you.
You're writing your True Hollywood story.
There you go.
So it's you gotta just do it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and then a lot of times you just have to say, I am enough. I've had to look in the mirror and say that so many times. I used to be 200 pounds, and
Wow.
back then I didn't think I was enough. And
200?
Yes,
Wow.
200. I was
Congratulations
super
on it.
thick
Can we get
out
a
here.
hand clap? Living health. and
Thunderous
fitness.
thighs, okay, not thunder thighs. Thunderous thighs, all right. But yeah. So back then, I remember just being like, oh, I'm not as cute as the other girls, especially living in Hollywood. Like, you have to look a certain way, but
Which is hard.
exactly.
Which is really
It's
hard.
As a woman, it's so hard. But when I just put the blinders on and just stay focused on my own journey.
Loving yourself.
Exactly. The weight started falling off. I started being happier about myself. And then I was like, oh, my thunderous thighs, now they just thunder,
Like
Sad. Yeah, no.
now for all of our viewers, where can they find you? What do you have coming up? What's something we can?
Yeah. You can hit me up at Meg Scoop on all social media, Meg Scoop on Facebook. And I've got a few things coming up, a couple of things coming up on All Def Digital. One is, of course, my daily show. I do a women's interview show called The Touch Up as well. So check that out. The drop is every day. My own produced show, Kandisha versus John Cia. Check that out. That's my baby project. And then also there's a cipher coming out. It's kind of like the double XL freshman
Nice,
cipher.
nice.
But this is the ADD version, so expect some jokes in it. And I am the only woman.
Wow, that's gonna be dope.
Yes, so you can catch my flow.
Check it out.
All right,
Check it
well,
out.
Thank you for coming in
Thank
today.
you for
so
having
much,
me.
man.
Thank you so much.
You guys are so
And
much fun.
Yeah, stick around in the green room. We'll catch you after the show.
Absolutely. I'm about to take these shoes.
Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye
Be
on it,
mismatched
James.
all left feet.
Well, listen, we
All
have to
left
go to
feet.
break, pay a few bills. We will be right back. DJ Mr. E is going to take us out on the ones and twos.
Like this, now a nigga getting rich. I swear every day we live.
Every day we lit. Hey everybody, welcome back to BallerzWorld Live. Just playing with it, yeah. Welcome back to BallerzWorld Live, everybody. This is your host James Ship. Welcome back, and we have another special guest in the studio, Adam Quinta,
Welcome.
my brother, trainer extraordinaire, just beast creator, the creator of Beast. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
About to move up a little bit. Move up, yeah.
We give you the
You cool,
extraordinary piece.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
he's
yeah.
chilling.
Trying
He's
to-
Swag.
like you know how to do
You
it.
know.
Mark, I know they have a lot of training questions. My question is, I read that you're working on a mobile basketball academy. What is that project? How did it get started? What are the details?
Really just started last year. There's a couple guys coming out with some apps, kind of cool I saw, and I always had this idea, or
Sorry,
I was-
had dropped BallerzWorld. Shout out BallerzWorld. Go
I
ahead.
always had this idea, like, guys had academies in certain spots. So I was like, what if you had an academy and it was everywhere? and you're training and doing all the right things for, I don't want to make it sound bad, but
You can make it sound bad. It's fine.
yeah, like AAU circuit is so
Trash.
It's
right now it's
Trash.
and
It's
people are
trash.
starting to notice.
Yeah.
And it's going in that direction where Kobe is starting a fundamental camp or league, right? And so it's kind of along those lines of where our game could finally get its roots back and go back to the
Well, it's getting back to the
fundamentals.
basics, the fundamentals. You know, when we grew up, you know, in practice, you know, it's great to see that someone like yourself is seeing where that need is, you know, and filling that gap. But when we grew up, it was, you know, when practice started, hell, we go 2 weeks without touching a basketball. You know, before you even got engaged with ball movement, it was learning where your teammates were, where to go set screens, proper footwork, all of those things. And I think as a culture, because everything's such a fast pace and it's entertainment now, they don't see today's generation doesn't see the need. And it's not the kids' fault. It goes back to coaching, because they're only going to do what they're allowed to do. And that's the culture now, where there's not a focus on fundamentals.
Right. When's the last time you saw a drill with no ball?
Never.
Man.
not since I last
When
played
they
in
stretch in
college.
the warm up like that.
When
I was in college, bro.
When's the last time you saw people go through like long stretching regimens
Exactly.
and warm-ups?
Exactly. They don't do it.
AAU circuit?
And it's funny you talk about the stretching. I remember when we were in high school, our whole practices started with stretching. You know, the first 30 minutes of practice, you stretched, you got warmed up. Now they just roll the ball out and they start running and playing. And then you also wonder why you have such a high risk of, not high risk, but high rate of injuries right now among these young kids. A lot of people say it's because they're playing a lot of games, possibly, but I really think a lot of it is they're not taking the proper protocol to prevent injuries to begin with.
Right. And I feel like that's what I want to teach, and that's why I kind of went into like that tech realm.
Yeah.
Because now they're coming out with all these wearables
Right.
that can tell you, you know, you're not ready to play.
Right.
You played 6 odd games today. Like, you're not ready
Time to chill.
go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you end up getting these kids injured.
Correct.
Right.
So I feel like that's the kind of the streamline to go now with basketball fundamentals.
And one of the things I love about just even following you on Instagram and seeing some of the training regimens you do, it's really intensive in that it's small movements, it's fast movements, but they're all very controlled, and it's not just a lot of running around. You see a lot of these workouts where they're just like, you know, cross training type stuff. Pick up a tire and everybody throw a tire. You know, throw the tire.
You got to crawl before you can run, right?
Man.
So I like to take my people on the ground first, because you have all this adaptation that people don't do anymore. And it's like you haven't hit the floor since you were a baby.
Yeah.
Doing crawling, you know, movements, getting up off the ground. Like if you get a lineman in the NFL, ask him how many times he can get off the ground. It's a lot, because he gets hit, goes to the ground, gets up. You ask a basketball player that, not too many times, right?
That's
Kinda
I never
interesting.
thought. I've
Never
never
even
thought
think
of it from
about
that
it like that.
perspective at all. No.
That's why basketball's better.
That's right.
Less impact, it definitely is.
Ain't on the ground all the damn time.
Right, exactly. I mean,
Well-
unless you're like Westbrook or somebody that's, you know, on attack,
Constantly attack.
getting fouled all the time.
Yeah.
Like if you're a big guy, you're not on the ground that much,
No.
right? So
No, usually
I
your
try to get
guards.
them on the ground, get them on those fundamental movements,
Yeah.
so that when they do face that reality or they get hit in the lane, they're able to brace
Correct.
and able to use all those
To absorb
muscles
that,
to
exactly.
absorb
And-
all that
yeah.
stuff.
And one of the things that you train, and you're going to be able to speak on this a lot better than I can, a lot of the injuries and pains and weaknesses that we have in the body, they're not necessarily like, oh, my leg hurts, but it's not really your leg, it's your pinky toe, and if you
Yeah.
fix that pinky, then boop,
Right.
your leg stops hurting.
And there's you know, tons of assessments that you got to go through, especially NBA players. Like,
Correct.
you know, like the feet. Like nobody looks at the feet. That's your first contact, you know, that you have to the ground. right?
Absolutely.
You're running on that ground. You're jumping off that ground, right? And so you got to look in the feet, and it's like you're absolutely right. You have a toe that's not flexible or pliable. Like what's wrong in your shoulder? Like that could be affecting the whole chain all the way across the body. But you wouldn't know that unless you got them on the ground and assess the whole body. Right?
Correct.
Alexis is like, wow,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
deep.
like mind blown
Is your
right
mind
now.
blown?
Yeah,
She's
it
like,
is. I'm
my
sitting
shoulder
here
does
just
hurt,
Yeah.
and my pinky toe don't work.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man, it
Yeah.
must be like.
And it's
I'm
actually
sitting here just.
it happens a lot too, and it's a very common thing. So that's why guys actually are attracted to my work, is because like I'll find their missing link,
Yeah.
and they're like, man, I wish I would have knew that like
This
5
whole
years
time.
ago. I would have got paid.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know I had a lot of knee problems coming up, and I found out that it was a lot of weakness in like my back and in my hips and stuff like that actually led to the weakness in my knees.
Sounds like you had old man syndrome.
Listen,
Yeah,
I had
exactly.
old man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
He's
back
trying
and
to
my
cover it up.
knees.
That's why you
know?
gotta you gotta think
my
about
back and my
dunking,
knees hurt.
right?
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
think about dunking now. You're like,
Yeah, no,
Oh yeah, I
choose-
remember
I pick
them
and
days
choose.
when
Oh
they
no,
used
no,
to
no.
just running, jumping, dunking, and it's
Woo.
like
I know, right?
I remember when I was overseas, it's like, man, I gotta jump and do this. When you're
Right.
young, it's just like it's nothing,
didn't
you
even
know.
think about
And
it.
when you're older, it's like you gotta put all this energy in just to do it, you know. And
Right.
at that point, that's when I started realizing. Also, it was probably like around 26, 27. It's like, yo, you got to start changing your regimen up, even how you eat, which is what I want to get into next. Because oftentimes, you can see these athletes and you see chiseled bodies and things like that physically, but when you talk about the endurance, what I was noticing in games is that, man, fourth quarter, gassed, And it's
Yeah.
like, I've been training, I'm running, I'm in shape. That wasn't what was this. What are you putting in your body
Right.
that can allow you to, have that fuel in the fourth? So how are you when it comes, what is your philosophy, or when it comes to eating and what you're putting in your body? Because you see all these crazy supplements these kids are on, they're putting all this crap in their body, and it's like, yo, you're not thinking about how that's going to affect you 10, 15 years from now.
Right. Where I go with that is, you get an NBA guy or that just thinks he could eat everything in the world, and then you get these young kids and they're watching that and they're like, oh, he can eat everything, I can eat everything.
Yeah.
And so you have to really start from the ground up with that, with actually teaching them habits, because some of these kids are coming from inner city communities where they're getting a lot of McDonald's and Carl's Jr., whatever they're eating.
That's how
Oh
they
my
do it.
gosh, poison.
If you can just let them drink one more glass of water a day, and then progress that into, okay, now I'm eating eggs and bacon in the morning. Most of these kids going to school, they just running out the door. They grabbing a Gatorade.
Right.
It's like, no, you need the proper nutrients, but you have to start with a habit, because if you build too many habits at once, like they're not going to it's not going to be receptive to them.
Yeah.
But if you start with one and then you get two and then you get
Three.
and it's like a snowball
Right.
effect. Yeah.
And then you just got a bunch of LeBron Jameses running around.
Right.
You
And
got all
now
those
it's
little
like-
kids just
Yeah,
like,
no,
what
going
kind of
towards that
crowd is-
vegan thing
That's why
now
you see
too.
these 17-year-olds is bigger than kind of.
Unbelievable.
it's something in the food.
Unbelievable.
Well, we got to go to break.
But you're gonna
it's
be
been
back
great.
with us. He's gonna be back with us.
He's
I
gonna be
think, in the
back.
next
Okay,
segment.
we'll
Yeah.
be back on the next segment.
That'd be great.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Well, we'll be right back. DJ Mystery, take us out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to BallerzWorld Live. We're here with Adam Quinta.
Like winter.
Quinta like winter. Quinta like winter. Trainer extraordinaire. Go ahead, Alexis. You had some questions and stuff. Go ahead, Alexis.
Let's talk about this documentary you're doing. Your passion. We talked about it a little bit during break. Your face just lit up.
Yeah.
So tell us. It did. You're smiling
Yeah.
right now. Tell us what you're working on.
Well, my documentaries started a long time ago, where I had this idea of like, Stephon Marbury went over to China,
Right.
and he was one of my favorite players in the NBA.
Starbury.
Yeah, I was a little mad, and of course he made that movie recently about like,
Oh
his
yeah.
biography.
Oh yeah. His biography. Yeah.
But I had
He's
followed
kind of
him.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a little crazy.
Yeah, but that's him though,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
That's
Absolutely.
Starbury.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to do something where I have, hundreds of friends that play overseas, right? Or I trained, or we played together, or so you have tons of these guys and everybody forgets about them and nobody knows their stories. But you guys got guys over there that are in war-torn places.
Yeah.
And they have these crazy stories. Like one of my friends was playing in the gym and he's hearing a bomb go off, a mile away. Like things like that. And the
Yeah.
personal stuff that comes with it,
Yeah.
with family, they can't be close to their families. Some go over to these different countries and they welcome them and they put them on their national teams. And
Yeah, I've
it's
been
just
there
so
and
many
had
cool
that experience.
stories.
It's a whole different experience that a lot of people don't really understand. Like you said, because everything's in front of them here in the country being displayed on TV. When we played, it wasn't even, I think, like broadband internet was coming in, you like dial up, and it's like tell parents tune in, watch the game. Nobody was up, and no one wanted to be patient enough to take the time to watch a game on broadband dial up. And now, I think it's a little bit better because the games are on TV over there now. Like I have a cousin who plays over in Europe, and we can tune in and watch his games live stream. And it's a different experience to get basketball. The game of basketball has evolved a lot more. But as far as you're saying, is those experiences, in some countries they can go in and not welcome, a lot of times, and that's a lonely experience to be places where you don't speak the language, you travel and great. That's the next thing I was going to get to. I've been in games they've thrown batteries at players, black players in particular, and all kind of other stuff. So, it's a different experience. But there's also some positives. The culture aspect of it is that being over there, you can be embraced and see the America from a different perspective. And also value other countries, when it comes to their cultures and what they have to offer from the food, their spirituality. I mean, I can go on and on. So those experiences you also take away. So there's a lot more good. So we don't make it seem like being overseas is a terrible thing. I think the money's better than what it was over a decade ago, and the opportunities are better. So it's becoming another direction that players that don't make it in the league, they can go.
And the documentary you're doing, it shows both sides of that, right? And that's like the positive and the negative of. I mean, not even negative. I won't even say just the different experiences, right?
Right, and even that, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And so you see a lot of these guys just like, worldly and cultured. Yeah. And it's the first growing sport in the world right now. Yeah. Even on top of soccer. Yeah. So you get these guys that I miss watching play. Like, you watch Strawberry winning championships or like Pooh Jeter, right? Yeah. Everybody forget about Pooh Jeter. Right, he in China now. He's a superstar.
Putting in work. He averaging like 45, 50 points a game over there.
Yeah. And I had pleasure to like see him play. Yeah, that's and awesome. I want to bring that to the light and make them have their story, have their moment.
Absolutely.
And they're over there. They get to try all the different food. They get to do. What I mean? They get the experience. There's some fun. Yeah, good and bad. Right, exactly. There's some places where you just stuck there with what they got.
Right. Like, I had one guy, he's like, man, I lost 15 pounds in a week. Like, I just haven't been eating anything but rice. It's like, there's some places that's just.
Oh, yeah, it's tight.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Is there anyone who has a specific story, like, throughout this documentary that has really stood out to you?
Yes. Actually, a buddy of mine I grew up playing against in high school. His name is Tommy Smith. He's been to every continent in the world to play basketball except Antarctica. He'll always say that because there's no basketball there. But this guy has been through every single scenario you could ever think, of from short money to sleeping on a cot when he's 7 feet tall, no lights, right? Like some of the foods he's ate, like exotic fishes, and he met his wife in Casablanca. Now they're getting married.
That's amazing.
And he's stuck in Casablanca now. His visa, it's just like so many crazy things that's happened to him. But I kind of wanted to. He was like my number one person to go to. He got drafted by the Bulls, and like ever since he's just been on that grind. Oh man!
And shout out to Legion of Creatives, right? They're helping you make that possible, man. That's gonna be really awesome. I'm excited for that project.
I'm excited for it.
It seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. And it seems like it's already been fun so far, but it looks like it's gonna be so cool, man. Yeah. I'm excited to see some of the fun stories and also some of those like horror stories where it's like a cartel owns your team, you know what I mean? And you got to go to El Chapo to get some dinero.
I actually have that story. I have that story.
Really?
Yeah. I got one of those on there. Oh, yeah, my guy, he plays for the Mexican national team. He actually had a little encounter of that sort. Yeah. Yeah, so there's some really good stories in there. So, yeah, get tuned in for that when that comes out.
As soon as that comes out, we'll have you back on the show, man, so we can talk about that because that's gonna be real fun, man.
Absolutely.
Now, for our listeners, how can they find you? How can they connect with you? If we have some hoopers out there that maybe want to get a workout in with you or something, how can they make that happen?
Really, all of my social platforms are my name, so Adam Quinter. Also,
QUINTER.
Yes, And then the mobile academy will be coming out, so look out for Los Angeles Basketball Academy. And you're going to be able to find that on pretty much every platform coming soon.
Dope.
Yep.
I'm excited, man.
I know.
I'm so excited to have you in here, man. Thank you again for coming.
problem,
Before
my
you go,
pleasure.
though,
Uh-huh.
do you have any advice for anybody out there? If you could just drop a little seed of like, hey, do this, and your game is gonna be up there.
Like me, who has no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, how do you get it from her Y League, from the Y League level?
Up on the China national team.
Right.
Like how we do that.
For all the youngsters out there, don't be sucked into this, like, run and gun AAU, throw the basketball out and just play 60 games every summer just to get looked at. Because when you get your fundamentals right, you get your footwork right, things like that, people will watch you. And when you win, people will watch you. So if all that stuff's cleaned up, you're going to get some type of recognition.
Yeah. Well, it's
And they lose
interesting you
track
brought
of
up
that.
footwork, too, because, today's players can really be deceived by the sloppiness in footwork, the younger generation in particular, and what I'm talking about. I watched a play, I think it was like 3 years ago in the Olympics. Harden, Kevin Durant, I think Paul George was playing one-on-one. And in that one-on-one scrimmage, great play, but between all three of them, they each probably traveled 6 or 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking the kids are watching this, but they're not paying attention to this sloppy footwork. And I'm like, how can this happen where you got guys traveling like this that are supposed to be professionals? They've changed pivot foot multiple times. So I really think you're dead on. Getting back to those basic fundamentals is a core. It should be a core emphasis for every young player out there today.
And defense.
Yeah, if you want to set
Right.
bingo. I mean, I made my career playing defense.
Defense.
Yeah, and that's something a lot of people don't want to do anymore because the way the game has changed.
Right.
Your defensive players aren't talked about or rewarded. They don't, they're not. That's not a focal
Kawhi
point until you
Leonard.
get to the playoffs and everybody wants to
Right.
talk
Kawhi
about defense.
Leonard.
It's like y'all ain't played defense all season.
Kawhi Leonard.
Shout out to David Nwaba.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yes.
yo,
Yeah,
Man.
he got on the team just because of that.
just
So,
because of that ball, Hooper.
Yeah. So
Well, be a specialist is what I hear you
Yeah,
saying.
hopefully.
be
hopefully
a specialist.
there are those defensive specialists. I miss them.
Yes.
Like Beverly or
Yeah. The guy-
Bradley.
We
Patty
can go
Beverly's
back.
one of my
Gerald
favorite players.
Wilkins. I mean, that was
Yeah.
a number. And we can go on. Xavier McDaniel,
Love,
all these
baby.
defensive
Come on,
stoppers.
like-
Anthony
Right.
Mason. I mean, the league was full of guys that played two ways.
Right.
Now you get a couple of guys, maybe one or two in a league of how many players? Whereas now, back in the day, you had to play damn near both ways or both sides of the ball to be considered an all-star, a high-caliber NBA player.
Even like the power forward position, I feel is is gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Well, it's just
used to
stretch.
have
It's
the
just
guys-
stretch big
Tall-
man.
yeah,
Everybody
it's a
wants to see a
tall,
stretch
small
this man
forward.
shoot a three. And
Used
it's
to be
like,
Tall,
really?
small forward.
Karl Malone was like, he's putting you on your back.
That's why I'm
You know what I
telling you,
mean?
Anthony Davis is big time
Anthony
over
Davis.
Kawhi. I take him all day, baby.
Kawhi could lock up Anthony Davis.
Man, you crazy.
Anthony Davis couldn't stop Kawhi.
He wouldn't need to. He block his shot. He wait for him to come to
Couldn't
the
stop
rim.
him. He couldn't stop him in the open court. He couldn't stop him in the half court. He couldn't stop him in the quarter court or the 3-point inside the 3-point
All
line.
right.
And he
Any
damn sure
courts.
couldn't stop him in the paint if he got to run and start. Okay.
You just said if you
No,
got to run and start.
listen. Usually you gotta drop that in there.
Yeah,
if you gotta run and start. If you gotta run and start. Right. I had to put an asterisk on that.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, man.
we like having fun here, man.
We having
Me and
fun. Yeah, I
James
love it.
always
I love
going
it.
back.
Adam,
and
I
forth.
man.
can't wait to be back already.
You got to come back. Thank you so much for coming in, brother.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Adam Quinter
Like
on
that.
all social media.
Yep.
Adam
that's it.
Quinter like winter. What we're gonna do? We're gonna go off with Miss DJ Mystery, and when we come back, we're gonna have Mike Connolly, NBA veteran,
All-Star.
all-star.
Yeah, $145 million man.
Woo!
Yeah, we'll be right back.
We'll be back. Welcome back to BallerzWorld Live. We're joined today with a very special guest, NBA vet and
All-Star.
all-star Mike
Former
Connolly.
Buckeye.
I
Don't
thought
forget
you
that
knew.
part.
How's
Get
it
that
going,
right.
sir? How's it going, sir?
How y'all doing, man? Thank y'all for having me.
Good.
Great, man.
sir.
Thanks for being here, man.
Good to have you back on the West Coast here.
What's that?
So it's good to have you back on the West Coast here.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you.
And thank you for stepping away from the ESPYs, my man. I know you're there right now. Thank you for stepping away and taking some time with us.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. And it's a good event, but I like to spend time with you guys too.
Hey, we appreciate that. First, I want to say congrats on being named to the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame for this year. That's incredible honor.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very, very, very cool. And it's kind of surprising, but it's very cool.
Why are you surprised by it?
I don't know. I just didn't expect it. It's something one of those things you just don't expect. You normally feel like that happens, like when you're done playing and retired and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see it happen so soon, I guess.
That makes sense. Before we dive into basketball, I wanted to talk about the project you're working on to fight sickle cell disease with Be the Match. Can you kind of talk about what that is and how you got involved with that?
Well, yeah, I've partnered with Be the Match to fight sickle cell and other related diseases that two of my cousins have the disease, and I've been doing a lot of things around over the last few seasons, last few years to try to help raise awareness to diseases like that. And with Be the Match, we're concentrating on the Heritage Holds the Cure campaign, which means African Americans who aren't aware that they might have the cure for somebody else by donating bone marrow for not just your loved one, but for your heritage, for your culture, for people who you might not even know. So it's a really cool deal, and we're trying to just hopefully raise awareness towards that.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's
that's
amazing.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
Well, Mike, shifting a little bit, I think it's great that you're putting forth that effort in the community that way. But shifting to basketball a little bit, there's been a lot of big off-season deals made, free agency, trades. Going into this season, what are your thoughts on some of the things you guys have to work on to improve as a unit, and also individually you as a point guard? You guys also suffered a loss with Zach Randolph leaving this year. So how do you guys feel you're going to contend coming into the West next year?
Well, I think we're still going to be competitive. We're going to be competitive every year just because of the makeup of our team and our culture that we've built there. But with the Western Conference, becoming even more powerful, even more dominant, it's going to be tough. We understand that. And losing Zach Randolph, who was a big part of what we do, basically got us out the mud and made us into a team that people respected.
Yeah.
So, he's done a lot for us, and so we're going to definitely miss him. And now it's time for us to rely on our young guys and develop them, and hopefully, create the next Zach Randolph.
Well, let me ask you this: as far as you're seeing a lot of these big-time contracts. Seems like you set the tone last year with your deal, and now everybody's starting to follow.
Congratulations on that, brother.
So what are your thoughts on some of
Let me
these?
get $1.
Your man, Mr. James Harden, and obviously Steph Curry. Not saying any of these guys aren't deserving of their deals, but is this something you anticipated and saw coming?
Well, for me, the whole contract deal was crazy, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I knew that the next few years that it would continue to grow, and I wasn't surprised with Steph. I wasn't surprised with James Harden, and I just feel like it's just going to keep getting more and more elevated there. So
were there any surprises?
I'm no longer in the spotlight for that contract, at least for now.
Yeah. Well, were there any surprises with any numbers that were paid out this free agency?
I'm sorry?
Were there any surprises with any of the free agents, the numbers that recently some of the signings that took place?
Oh, yeah, I was, a few of them were interesting just to see guys moving around. To see Jimmy Butler go to Minnesota, to see Paul George go to OKC. It was just, interesting to see the big names, get moved around like they did, and Chris Paul going to Houston. All that is just, stuff that you don't normally see all happening in one season. So, it's just, it's crazy. So I think it's going to be good for the league. It's going to be good. I think the guys, new jerseys, new teams, more competition. So it'll be fun.
Now, I had to drop this in here real quick. Our CEO is from Michigan. He said go blue. Just real quick, I just want to let you know. He made a point of that. You're from Ohio State, right?
You know they don't get along.
I know my pops would be mad at me for saying that right now. But man, again, thank you for being on. What do you have going into this next season? What do you see for the Grizzlies and for for yourselves, what are you guys working on in this off season, and what do you have personally kind of set up for yourself so that this next season you guys will have a chance of maybe contending with the Golden State Warriors and these beast super teams that are getting created in the West?
Right. I think that our team is in a position where we're going to have to rely on a lot of new faces, a lot of new guys, new signings. And it's our second year with our coach, Coach Biz, and his system. So hopefully being more comfortable with that will help us all. As far as myself, is just continue to grow, as my role has changed over the years. Just try to continue to grow into the person and the player that I know I'm capable of being for the team, and try to do what I can to win, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, and that's all I want to see for the city of Memphis is to win a championship one day. So hopefully we can find a way to contend and compete against these teams out west and get it done.
We see you looking fly on the red carpet here. My man DJ Mr. E showed me this suit you got on, bro. Who laced you up? You and Steph Curry, man. Who lined y'all up, bro?
I see it. I like it.
The circles on there.
Who's your tailor?
Man, that suit was hot, man.
Yeah.
I was sweating through it, but
yeah.
No, it was cool. My stylist Brandon Williams got me in touch with BallerzWorld, a guy out here who tailors and makes suits, and they came up with the idea of that kind of pattern, and kind of made me dizzy looking at it. But after I looked at it for a while, but I think I can pull it off, and so far it's been some good feedback, so I'm not mad at it.
Well, Mike, over your career, you've been really an underrated point guard, in my opinion, looking at your numbers. 25 points a game last season. You had 6.3 assists that you were putting out, and looks like here 3.5 rebounds, man. And, looking at the West, there's a lot of concern that the West is top-heavy. You're seeing a lot of moves where you're seeing these super teams being stacked. But when you talk about you being underrated, how do you feel overall in your career you stack up against the elite point guards like the Steph Currys, the Russell Westbrooks who just come off an MVP? I feel you're in that elite class out west.
Well, it feels like I've been underrated my whole career, my whole life, man. And at the same, but for most people they'll say that, but for me as a player, I feel like I'm on the same level as all these other guys.
Yeah.
So I just go out there and play to that level. I try to play at that level every night, and not to show or prove anything to anybody, just to prove it to myself that I belong in that conversation.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm set out to do. And I continue to try to do it, continue to try to get better as the years go on, as I get older and more mature. I learn more and more about the game. So hopefully it continues to help me grow.
Well, you've been watching any of that Big Three basketball. What are your thoughts on the NBA possibly bringing the 4-point shot?
Will you tell Rod that none of these Big Three players is going to be the team in the NBA? We was just arguing about that earlier, man.
I doubt they can beat the NBA team. But,
Thank you.
Thank
you.
But,
James needs a little affirmation.
It is entertaining kind of to see those guys still hooping and competing, because they're working hard at it, man.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it. So. But the 4-point shot, I don't know about that yet. I don't know if I got that range yet.
Yeah. Well, it seems that's where everybody pulling from now, now. From 4-point territory. Well, look, it's been great having you on. How can our listeners and our viewers connect with you as far as social media and just watching you behind the scenes?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up there.
I'm sorry about that. How can our listeners and our viewers connect with you, follow you on your social media handles?
Oh, yeah. Social media, my Twitter is M11. My Instagram is Mac11, MAC11. Follow me on those two, man. That's where I'm most active.
Will we be seeing you much in LA this summer? You sticking around? Are you heading back west or back home?
Back home. I'm normally here for a few weeks out the summer, and then spend most of my summer in Columbus, Ohio. So my wife's from there, and our families live there. So we're homebodies.
Yes. Well, look, man, it's great having you out west, taking the time to come on the show, BallerzWorld Live here today. We hope, future-wise, maybe when you're on the trip out west playing the Lakers, we can get you in studio and talk about what's going on with the team at that time. But it's a blessing to have you on, and hope you enjoy your time here.
Well thank you very much for having me, guys.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, Mike. Have a great one. All right. Well, that concludes today's show.
We did it again.
We did it.
Again.
Can you believe
Another
it?
one.
Another one.
Before we go, make sure you follow all our social medias. BallerzWorld with a Z. Do it. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of it.
Cool
Yeah.
story.
Well, this has been, where we are now, 16, 17 weeks in, I think so. Man, time flies.
15?
And
15.
we've had some amazing guests on the
15,
show thus
baby.
far. Guys, please share your feedback, too. We love to hear feedback from you, your thoughts of the
Shout us
show, what you want to see more of, too, here and there. We know that James, Alexis, and I are ready to bring it every week. So until next week, we look forward to seeing you guys. Have a great night, and we'll be back.
Shout out Mr. Reed.